they've been living a nightmare, not to mention the nightmare that the families of these 4 victims will continue to live as this trial gets underway and the case pushes forward. I want to welcome in now Jonna Spilbor. She is a criminal defense attorney. She's done a lot of research on the death penalty, which Idaho does have. She's also worked in a city attorney's office. Jonna, thank you for being with us this morning. So this is a status hearing tomorrow where Bryan Kohberger will appear before a judge. What should we expect?
Okay, well, a status hearing usually is not anything monumental. It's basically an opportunity for the judge and the counsels, defense attorney and prosecutors, to figure out what the next steps will be. In a case like this, as a matter of fact, in any case where somebody is being held behind bars without bail, due process kicks in. And the defense attorneys are either going to have to schedule what we call a preliminary hearing to challenge the probable cause, or Mr. Kohberger needs to be indicted by a grand jury. One of those two things needs to happen in order to justify keeping him in custody. My guess, if we have no surprises, will be they will schedule this for a preliminary hearing, if there are no surprises.
Is there any way this doesn't go to trial based on the evidence that you've seen publicly so far?
You know, that's a big question. The tea leaves tell me if there is an opportunity for Bryan Kohberger to take some sort of plea and avoid the death penalty, which would require him to admit guilt, obviously. If he's willing to do that, if there's enough other evidence that we haven't seen yet, it's possible that that deal may be on the table. But I got to tell you something, the horrificness of these crimes and the families that we feel such sympathy for, I don't know if prosecutors are going to be ready to make some sort of deal like that, especially if there is more evidence out there than we've already seen in the affidavit, the probable cause affidavit.
Right. So the prosecutors, the families, they want this to go to trial. It's the pursuit of justice, right? So what is their best piece of evidence to get a conviction in this case?
Okay, so the best piece is something that we have not seen yet. Maybe we will see it, maybe we won't. And that is, I would like to see the victim's DNA someplace in Bryan Kohberger's vicinity, meaning not his DNA at their house, although that would be telling too, right? We have that one little piece of DNA on a knife sheath. But if they find victim's DNA in his car, in items in his home, in items where we know these victims did not voluntarily go, then I think it's really game over, and maybe they can start talking some deal at that point. But we haven't seen that yet, and I don't know if we will.
You can't hide from DNA, right? So how likely is it that they could find just a tiny, tiny piece, and all of these weeks later, what, 7, 8 weeks later?
Yeah, you know, I'm of the belief that, you know, DNA is very insidious. It gets everywhere. No matter how much you try to clean up a place, like his car, for example, if he did this crime, his car would be full of victims' blood. And now we know that there's evidence that he cleaned that up. But can you ever really? There's always some sort of trace evidence left behind. And if authorities go through his car, which they will, and they find anything that connects the victims to his car, that's going to be probably the biggest piece of evidence that we've seen so far. Because look, I mean, it looks bad for him. But as a defense attorney, they're going to say, well, wait a minute. Just because you have his phone in an area doesn't mean he was with his phone, doesn't mean he was at that house. There are some other explanations. That's their job to put forth. So we have not seen yet the smoking gun, but believe me, everybody's going to be looking for that.
Right. And you've got these two things, Jonna. So you've got the investigation and the evidence, and then you've got this big why. Why? What was the motive? Why did he do this? Will we ever know? Will that be part of prosecutors' focus in trying to figure that out, tell that to a jury?
We so want to know. We so want to know, what is the connection? Why did he target these people? Unfortunately, motive is never an element of any of these crimes. It does help give us perspective. It would help give a jury perspective, because that's a big question. Why them? He wasn't even in that part of the country for that long. Why them, and why that night? These are major questions we may never have the answer to, and he still could get convicted.
Quickly before we go, Idaho does have the death penalty likely in this case if this thing goes to a jury?
If there was ever a reason to have it, it would be a case like this. So senseless, multiple murders, yes. And perhaps Bryan Kohberger's best defense might be just saving his own life and not trying to take this to trial to find him not guilty.
It's been a sickening and chilling case since the beginning. Criminal defense attorney Jonna Spilbor, thank you. Appreciate your perspective this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.